What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Andrew Jensen. It's still freezing cold here in Jacksonville. It's actually below freezing today. So I posted up on Instagram and on Twitter, why don't we do the January Q&A? So we got that pulled up here. We've got Twitter, we've got Instagram. I'm gonna try to knock off as many of these as I can. Here we go. Let's start with Twitter. This is from Andrew Threat. What do you focus on in the off season to stay fresh and not slide backwards in your progress? Well, you're kind of a victim to the weather. Moving down here to Florida, North Florida, yes, I can still practice all off season, but I'm gonna get winter, days like today. Honestly, I just focus on rest and my mental approach. Just because you're not swinging the golf club doesn't mean you're actually going backwards. Golf is a physical sport, but it's also a mental sport. So trying to keep your mind engaged, and I do that with video, with reading, with my meditation. Keeping my mind engaged, keeping my mind on golf, I think is the best thing you can do in the off season so you don't slide backwards, because sometimes rest actually helps you in the long run. The season's very long for us, and if you're just go, you could burn out pretty quickly. Not to mention, I've got the YouTube channel, so I think that's another thing. Keep the mind occupied and maybe find a little healthy distraction. And that's a great thing for the off season. All right, Charles, good old Charles. If you could only keep 5 possessions, what would they be and why? Right off the top of my head, computer, camera, car, speaker, phone. Why? What? I don't really know why. That's just the best answer I could come up with. Who's this guy? Hi, Andy. Love your YouTube channel. Thank you. Andy. My mom hated that name, so therefore I hate it. Drew, AJ, Andrew. Go with those next time. What would you do if you weren't a pro golfer? I've always said I'd be on Saturday Night Live if I wasn't a professional golfer. Within the last year though, I think that's changed. I think if I weren't a professional golfer, I'd be a full-time YouTuber. I absolutely love YouTube. I love creating content. I love sharing it. I love interacting. I love this platform. I'd be a full-time YouTuber. All right, Steve Eisler. First off, love your channel. Thank you, Steve. Secondly, what are your first impressions of seeing the new M3 and M4 driver woods? I love them. They seem so awesome. The hype around them amongst the players, amongst the TaylorMade staff seems amazing. I can't wait to do my fitting for them in February. I think I've gotten this question a lot now in the last day or two. I'll be switching. The performance is gonna be better. I'm gonna be hitting more fairways, so I'll be switching. Finally, what are your favorite home practice techniques for those who can't afford to go out too often? I don't know. You can work on the motion in the gym. You can roll putts on the floor in your basement. I think those are the only really things you can do at home. I think working on the mind, working on the body is sometimes more important than working on the technique. So I would say throughout my golfing life, the winter, that's what I did. I just would roll some putts here and there, and I would enjoy the break, because the break gives you a chance to come back refreshed and have a fresh sense of energy and excitement and drive. So maybe rest is the best home practice technique that's out there. All right, we're transitioning over to Instagram now. Let's grab some questions here. What driver heads on your back shelf? Been watching a few of your work harder Wednesdays, and I'm always wondering what they are. Don't go anywhere, I'll show you. All right, so these driver heads you've been seeing on my shelf are all of the drivers I've used since being with TaylorMade. I've been with TaylorMade since 2012. And as you've seen in previous videos, I've kept my old bags and I have the sets of clubs in those bags. But because we have detachable heads, these make cool little keepsakes. So we have R11S, that's 2012. 2013, R1, this is the smaller head. This is the V2 head. This thing was awesome. 2014, SLDR, was even better than the year before. 2015, R15, guess what? I love this one too. It was the best driver I had hit. 2016, M1. This one was even better. What's gonna come up on the shelf very soon is my 2017 M1 head, because it's likely gonna be replaced with the M3 head. So these are my trip down memory lane with TaylorMade. Avery, ever had a round of golf that you thought about quitting the game after? Yes, yes, yes. Many rounds of golf. More than I could probably count. I've wanted to quit the game a lot. Early in junior golf a little bit, and I did. I took an entire summer off because I just didn't like golf when I was 17. And in my career, my professional career, I thought about quitting many, many times. It doesn't go away, but I think that's okay, that's healthy, that's normal. Sometimes golf is gonna beat you up, but it's how you bounce back from that that shows your passion, your resiliency, your work ethic, all of those good things. So I think it's okay to feel like you wanna quit golf sometimes. Golf is a very frustrating and humbling sport. And sometimes it breaks us down and it puts us to our knees and we feel like walking away. We, for some reason, don't. So yeah, I've thought about quitting the game after many missed cuts. Even as most recently as Jamaica, I thought about like, maybe there's something else for me. Maybe golf isn't my thing. It's just a demon I struggle with, but I identify it and I don't panic and I just let those thoughts come and I let them go because they're just thoughts. So I think it's okay to think about quitting golf sometimes because we all do. Leaser99, what's on your playlist? Well, let's have a check here. Because I'm constantly exploring electronic and dance music, there's a lot of podcasts from a lot of DJs, so I listen to a lot of them. Some of my favorite ones, the Anjuna Deep Edition, it's probably the best one. Above and Beyond, Group Radio, amazing. Anjuna Beats Worldwide, amazing. That's Above and Beyond's label, Anjuna Beats. I really like Silk Music Showcase and the Only Silk podcast. Again, this is really like uplifting, progressive, chill out, trance music. Yeah, that would be my playlist because these podcasts are constantly updating every week, so I listen to that. But if I were to say an artist at the moment, Deza from Halifax. He's released a little bit on Silk Music. That's how I found him. His music's awesome. So Deza, check his stuff out. Hopefully I can hook up with him when I'm in Halifax at the end of the month. Good to see a Canadian guy making some moves in the electronic music space. Deshaun Fitzy, what are the best putting aids to use? I've actually talked about a few putting aids in the past in a couple of videos, so I'll link that here, down below. The Vizio putting mat's what I'm using right now, and I think it's amazing. But nothing beats tees, a gate, an alignment stick. So I've linked some of those. I've talked about some of those before. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't, go check those out. Those are my opinions on the best putting aids. Okay, and I've gotten this question in a roundabout way a bunch since Wednesday's Work Harder Wednesday about statistics. A lot of people are looking at that spreadsheet thinking, I write down all that stuff while I'm golfing, and I don't. We get a pin sheet when we play, and if you can see here, all I do is I mark whether I hit the fairway and then what zone my approach shot is from, and then I pace off how close I hit it to the hole. It's that simple. There's not a lot that happens when it comes to jotting down your stats while you play. And then on my tearaway, I just write the putts. I write if I have a 1 putt or I write if I have a 3 putt. Pretty simple. I hit the fairway, check. Find my yardage, which I have to use my yardage book and my pin sheet, and then I just write it down, what zone that's in. And then when I get to the green, I just write down how close I hit it. And if I miss the fairway, well, I hit left or right. If I miss the green, short, right, left. Really, really simple. There's only 3 things I write down on my pin sheet, 1 thing on here, and the rest of those statistics are just drawn from doing math. Looking at this at the end of the day, adding up the fairways, adding up the greens, doing the math for the proximities and the averages from the zones. That's where the work happens. The work doesn't really happen on the golf course. So to anyone out there that was thinking all of this stuff is really a lot to do on the golf course, I'm not doing all of it on the golf course. Doing just a tiny, tiny basic thing on the golf course. And if you're playing, you can do it on your scorecard. If you're playing, you just yes, no, left, right. Really, really simple stuff. So I hope that helps clarify things. And speaking of that, I have linked a download to that spreadsheet. I worked it out a little bit more, made it a little bit more detailed, just to say like what the yardages, those zones are, and I've uploaded it. So go to this link, you can download it, and hopefully you can start implementing these statistical trackings in your game this year. All right, this is the most recent question, and I think it's the best one to end on. What was your biggest revelation in golf and how did it change the way you approach the game? I've had lots of revelations in golf over the course of my time playing golf, over 20 years now. And I think everyone that plays golf can relate and understand. They've had these revelations, they've had these aha moments, whether it's with the swing or the score or the feel of things. I know one big one for me was right before I turned pro. I started reading the Vision 54 stuff, and that really was the biggest revelation of my golfing life up until then, and I was 23 years old. I've never really had many revelations since then, except for the biggest revelation I've had kind of stems from what I've been through in my life. The the struggles that I've been through and the close calls that happened back in 2011. It took a couple years, but the biggest revelation I had was golf isn't life or death. Golf doesn't define me. My score isn't my worth. And that's something I think a lot of junior golfers, a lot of college golfers, and professional golfers need to hear, because it's very easy to think your worth is that score that's next to your name on that leaderboard or on that handicap program. Whatever it is, it's very easy to think that's the worth. And when the score is low, the worth is high. And when the score is high, the worth is low. It's just golf. It's not life or death. I played like crap in my most recent tournament. It sucked. I didn't like doing that. It's not fun to play bad, but nothing's changed about me. And I think that's the biggest revelation I've had when it comes to golf. And that revelation happened in my late 20s. If you're listening out there and you're younger, or maybe you're older and you haven't had that revelation, let it sink in. It's just golf. It's not life or death. It's not your worth. When you have that revelation, when you have that reality check, it allows you to relax a lot more on the golf course, off the golf course, when you're thinking about golf and all that mental jargon and confusion that can come from overanalyzing your golf or getting too stressed about your golf before or after. When you realize it's just a game, it's not who you are, golf becomes a lot more fun and a lot easier. I hope that was enough for you guys. I hope you enjoyed those questions. I'm so sorry if I didn't get to all of your questions. There's a lot here, and again, I can't get to them all, but I do try to get to them on the comments or in the next Q&A. But thank you guys so much for following along. It means so much to me. I'm excited to get back to practicing next week. I don't care how cold it is, I'm getting to work. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.